Orjiakor Isiogu, chairman of the Michigan Public Service Commission, believes Michigan is actually in a good place to capitalize on new automotive technologies and renewable energy.
Right now, Michigan, like most states now, we're having a very serious economic downturn, and one of the areas that we are looking at very seriously is, how can we seize the opportunities that we have before us now in the area of energy, reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and also begin to electrify our vehicles. Hopefully, electricity is something that we can produce, with renewables, wind and solar locally. To help power our vehicles in Michigan. I think Michigan will stand, really at a very good position to capitalize on that, opportunity right now. In 2007, Michigan Public Service Commission, we issued a grant to University of Michigan, the Detroit Edison Company, and University of and DTE, one of our largest, energy utilities, to study the integration of the plug-in hybrid vehicles into the electric grid. We want to make sure we do this in a way that enhances both the electricity grid and the vehicles that will be placed into the roads, starting in 2010, I believe, the GM the Volt and the Ford Escape. So we are really beginning to see how the two would interact, make sure we have a very robust, grid to support, a huge demand we hope to be brought about when we begin to use, electric vehicles, as opposed to gasoline-powered vehicles. There's a role for all aspects of transportation generally, and I think, especially those ones that are used for mass transit, buses, taxis. I think they produce a huge dividend if we can convert them from gasoline into electric vehicles in the future. So there's a huge role for mass transit vehicles. I know in terms of fleets, AT&T is very involved, with our auto industries, to make sure that they're buying a huge, fleets, huge number of vehicles, for their fleet. Detroit Edison and is also converting a lot of their, hoping to convert a lot of their vehicles, to electrified vehicles in that regard, And the state of Michigan, is committed to buying, electric vehicles, in significant quantities, to jumpstart this area of, of our economy. I think the president, mentioned, 1 million, electric vehicles, by maybe the year to 2015. So I think that's probably a good goal, to aspire to. We'd like to think in Michigan that we are way ahead of the rest of the country. We began to experience the economic downturn, much earlier than most of the rest of the country did. So we began to do a lot of efforts, in this area of energy, alternative energy, and green jobs. So while there's clearly is going to be on a bigger scale a national solution, but on Michigan we're going to lead in the way, in that regard.